Okay, who here hasn't been to space? Why? You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
So we are going to jump right into last night. That's the last topic. Last night, obviously was the premiere of Wakanda Forever. That's why Twitter has been held today, because of all of the reviews that have come out about the film. But that, it wasn't the reviews for me. That's not, last night for me was the red carpet. And one thing that I was waiting for was Nate Moore. I was waiting for him to get on there. Ryan Coogler didn't really say anything that I felt needed to really be dissected or anything like that. The brother was clean though last night, I will say that. But nothing needed to be dissected. But of course, Nate Moore, every time he opens his mouth, something has to be dissected. This was extremely funny to me, and I'm going to try my best to hold myself together in this, because this shit is just funny. So he got asked, and so I have two clips of Nate Moore. I have a clip of Victoria, and I forget old dude's name. You guys are gonna have to remind me in the chat once you see him, because I forget dude's name. And they were just talking about representation and things like that, and how it's important and blah blah blah. But let's first listen to what Nate Moore had to say.
Did y'all see E-Man and Soup's review? They're giving them both hell. No, I didn't watch it today,
I subtweeted what Soup said. When Soup's put on his, he said whatever he said good about it, he said, but something just didn't sit right. And I subtweeted and I said, we know exactly what didn't sit right. We know exactly what didn't sit right. The absence of T'Challa didn't sit. And I really want to tell Soups, it's okay. You can say that, bro. You're still going to get invited to all the premieres. They love you. Yeah. It doesn't matter. They love you. If you want to say the absence of T'Challa, let them know, because apparently he's a voice that Marvel listens to. He gets invited to everything. I mean, hell, the fan meetup he did for Multiverse of Madness, he had, I forget her name, but he had America Chavez, the actress, with him. Really? And not just that, he had her in another video he did on his YouTube channel. Soups is even getting hit up by the Miami Heat. He does something with the Miami Heat just based off of his Marvel shit that he does here. Marvel listens to him. So if he would have just said what didn't sit right, instead of saying, he said, I'll dive into it more after the film comes out. You can say T'Challa's not in the film. We all know that. Yeah. We all that they've advertised that. I don't believe that falls under the review embargo, so that you can talk about that. So I feel like if he would have just come out and said, bro, I feel like if you have a platform like this, it is your duty to speak your mind. Don't sugarcoat shit. I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit for you. I'm going to tell you authentically what I feel, and if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. It's that fucking simple. And that was my problem today on Twitter. The problem I had with that on Twitter today was all the anti-recasters. Bro, do you know when No Way Home came out, I muted certain things because there were things I didn't want to find out? Do you know that they can mute hashtag recast T'Challa if it's that big of a fucking deal? They talk about, oh, I'm so sick of seeing you whiny fanboys and you babies this and da-da-da-da-da. They're going to recast him, bro. It's the multiverse. Relax, calm down. You don't like seeing the shit, just mute the hashtag and go on about your day. But to me, when people do silly shit like that and interact, that lets me know you like it. Yeah. You want the discourse. You want the drama, because you're inciting you're initiating the conversation.
I'm there for it.
Exactly. Yeah. You're seeking
inviting
out.
yourself
exactly.
to it.
I've never accidentally gotten into an argument on the internet while I'm trying to.
And it's so much harder to it's so much harder to type some shit out than to say it. So for you to sit there and type actual words out, and so you're meaning to you're wanting to do what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're not doing it by accident. You can simply put the phone down, close the laptop, but niggas will willingly sit there and argue about something that they just are completely ignorant to the facts of. And
that's the thing too. I've said this so many times. I'm going to continue to say it. And I'm going to continue to say it and say it. Stop coming into arguments if you're not fully equipped on what the fuck is going on. They come in and they say the most outlandish, ignorant shit, and I'd be like, bruh.
And then they don't respond whenever you make them look stupid or some shit.
And I'm just if you want to argue, if you want to have a healthy debate, because I don't have a problem having the healthy debate. We can debate it all day. That's fine with me. I would invite people even on the channel via live stream if you want to. Hey, you can get on StreamYards. I'll send you the link. You can come live and we can debate it live if you want to. I would love to talk to some of you, because they come in again ill-equipped, on anything that any of the knowledge or the facts behind what the hashtag really stands for. Yeah. They come in at face value and think that they just see recast. They think it's disrespectful. They think, oh, you guys are fanboys. They think, oh, Marvel knows what's best.
They think we're talking about like recast what they're doing for the current Black Panthers, like recast Letitia Wright or something.
You do know the movie's done, right? Well, obviously the movie's fucking done. If you came in with the knowledge, you would understand that the hashtag never said recast T'Challa in Wakanda forever. It just said recast T'Challa. It doesn't have to be now. It could be in the future. Now, we don't want it in the far future. We would like the near, and that's another thing. You're going to get him sometime. Why do we have to have the sometime? Why do we have to have this? Why are we sitting here waiting for the some? I don't want sometime. Give me a date.
It's like, it could be worse. Like, I know. Like, when is it going to get better, though? Like, when does it get better? I'm tired of it. Really could be worse.
Because this shit's funny.
What has it meant for you to see this effect happen from this work that y'all have been?
Yeah, it's pretty shocking, to be honest. I mean, you're making a movie hoping that it reaches the biggest amount of people, and you hope people enjoy it, but I don't think we understood what it could mean to people. We've had successful films in the past, but I think culturally there's something that hits different with this franchise. And I think bringing it back to people after a long hiatus, after COVID, after all the things we've all experienced, you don't think you can catch lightning in a bottle twice, but you want people to feel that same impact and hopefully get something out of this movie beyond the film itself.
Namor is so fucking full of shit, bro. Namor is so full of shit. He said he knows what this means because just last week, bro, you said we hear the talk back, but people are going to like it or they're not going to like it. He knows exactly the position of everybody. So what do you mean if we can strike lightning in the bottle twice? What do you mean you didn't know how big
say
of a...
if.
Yeah, no, he said he didn't say if.
He was basically saying we did.
And then what do you mean when you say you didn't know the cultural impact it would have? You know the cultural impact because you saw it happen the first time. What do you mean you don't know?
But you wanted to get the cultural impact right on Namor.
Exactly. But I'm not saying don't do that. Because I want everyone to be included in the representation.
But why is it not everyone though? It's like we want everyone to be included, but it's like the people up top at Hollywood's pick and choose whoever they want to. And it's like, I promise you, if they feel like Namor shouldn't have more, then they're not going to give him more after this just because. It's like, that's just the way it works.
Namor plays the game so well. Yeah. So fucking well. To get up here and just lie. Like there's not a track record. Like there's not receipts of your interviews and things that you've said. What do you mean you did not know? What did he say in 2018? I laughed at that one. In order for people to love the Black Panther, they have to first love T'Challa. You saw that fucking happen. And now you're sitting here 3 years later. Was it 4 years later? And you want to sit up here and lie talking about we didn't know the cultural impact it would have. We didn't know if we could catch lightning in a bottle twice. Namor's full of shit.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that he said this. He said this once before, and we were saying that it was stupid then.
Yeah.
Because it was so long after the film. And now he's saying it actually like a second time. And the first time we were like, wait, were you not there for your
we did talk about that.
It was $1 billion movie.
Exactly.
All this stuff. And he's literally he apparently had the epiphany a while ago.
Robotic.
I don't know why.
He's robotic. This is rehearsed.
This is systematic.
This is strategically placed words, so he doesn't.
He's just like most people. He's
tiptoeing around the recast.
Where I already said
that's what it is. Exactly. He's tiptoeing around the recast. Please, I bet he was praying. Don't ask me about recast. Please don't ask me about recast.
He probably told them all. He probably told all the reporters.
That Mike says Marvel.
Do not ask about recast at this event. Like. Do not talk. Be here to enjoy the show.
If you're gonna bring up T'Challa, make it sad and about Chadwick dying, please. That's what we would like to.
It's really crazy because it's like they want people to remember T'Challa as Chadwick Boseman.
I'm surprised they ask everyone to wear all black to the fucking premiere since it's a funeral.
No, for in Wakanda, that's the all white. That's why. So when somebody asked me, "Are you wearing white to the film?" No, I'm not wearing white to the film.
I'm wearing that nigga mask.
I'm wearing I have a recast T'Challa jersey. And I'm wearing that. Yeah. Nah. So it's like
Sorry,
him, and then one of the questions I had here too was because I watched the whole premiere because I told you it was the highlight of my night. I we're in a group snap.
Yeah.
I sent them snaps because I was dying laughing. This shit was hilarious.
I went back and watched it this morning because I was babysitting last night and I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much to show.
Oh yeah.
I had to catch up today, this afternoon.
So is it really a thing that like niggas are wearing white? To
people are gonna
wear
white.
Is that not
that.
so weird to you? Like
it's more,
that
but,
is
but
crazy
again,
weird.
this is they're brainwashed.
But it's like
it's
what? When did
really
he passed in?
morbid.
What? 2018?
2020.
Okay,
2020.
so 2 years ago, and it's like you want to go to his fictional character's funeral. 2 years later for what?
And you know, I'm gonna get on some of the things that people were saying about that specifically. You know, Eric Voss. Well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Eric Voss, you know, over at New Rockstars, had tweeted the whole little kind of rant about people forgetting that the Black Panther, you know, that's the character deals with death and things like that and blah, whatever the fuck he was saying. But then I'm gonna get to the part where he said, you know, this is giving people, what do you say? This is giving everyone, teaching everyone how to mourn or something like something to that effect. I'll pull up the tweet because I want to make sure I'm getting
everyone mourn this.
Right. But not only that, we in the Black community, brother, I don't need you to show me how to mourn.
I don't want to mourn.
You know what teaches you how to mourn? People dying.
Did you not see our entire community mourning in 2020? Not just at Chadwick's death, but at everything that was going on in 2020 within the Black community. Brother, I don't need you, a white man, to tell me that this is going to teach me how to mourn. I know how to mourn.
Especially another Black man's death.
Like, brother. Like what?
Like,
stay
honestly,
in your lane.
I'm saying, I was about to say
I think the Black community has done some mourning.
I'm about to say is, as much as I don't want to include race into it, it's not any of his position to be. I just don't see how niggas be so out of their position to just tell people.
I'm
telling you.
I don't know.
Though,
it's like I can't.
It's been 2 years. At what point does it go from mourning to celebrating? Like you always say.
Yeah. At what point? Like I said, as a society, we go from we first mourn, but then at the end we celebrate. It's been 2 years. We've not celebrated this man once. All the things that they're saying is honoring him are depressing us.
But there's nothing there's nothing to celebrate because he died. Even though he died 2 years ago, we're about to watch his character die in real lifetime. Like in real lifetime,
they think that's a beautiful send off.
No,
they find that so beautiful, and that's what's best for the character.
That's like Black, like Wakanda Forever coming out at the end of 2022. That's when that's when his funeral is. That's when he's gonna die to me. Like that's when they kill the character off. So if anything, there's nothing to celebrate. Like it's just bringing another event to mourn. Like if they just multiplied the death.
I mean, but if you really want to honor Chadwick and you want to celebrate his life in that way, then do something different, Marvel. I don't know. Get all the cast and the crew, and not just from this movie, but get even the people at the headquarters at Marvel and people that just knew Chadwick over at Marvel. Do a big documentary, and you guys all spill about how you felt about Chad, what Chad meant to you, your interactions
the episodes they do for the behind the scenes and shit.
Honor him. There's plenty of ways you can honor him besides putting a character that he never wanted to die. And again, with Ryan Coogler in the featurette, Ryan Coogler said, Chad and I, he's a creative partner. We had several conversations together about where he wanted the character to go. So if you knew that, why not give the brother what he wanted and continue the character that way? Honor him in another way. Last night Letitia wore exactly what Chadwick wore to the 2018 premiere. That's how you honor the brother. We'll never forget. How can you ever forget that? How can you forget him? And that's honoring him.
And
that's
it's like,
in
all honesty, too, it's like the funeral is honestly kind of lackluster, too, knowing how many real Marvel heroes would be at the character of T'Challa's funeral. And it wouldn't just be Wakanda. It would be a whole hero celebratory thing. It'd be a Wakanda thing.
It's not happening in the blip, so there's no excuse for what you're just saying.
That's what I'm saying. You should be all the hero. Like he has this prominent relationships with all these heroes, all these other Black heroes.
Cap's gonna be there. Is Bucky gonna be there?
Iron Man there. Like even though he's not, I'm just saying. There's just so many people that.
Was T'Challa there at Tony's funeral?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so we know it's not in the blip.
No, it's not in the blip. It's not during the blip.
If I had that whole time, I know that now we've known for a little bit it wasn't the blip, but I just thought Wait, was he at the funeral?
Yeah.
Because if he was, we would have.
He was at the funeral, and
already deduced that this isn't during the.
But like you just said, that's a very good point. That's not even something I even thought about. You're sending this character off, but none of the characters that he has relationships are going to be there to see him off. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's crazy because everybody was at Iron Man's funeral.
Right.
So if you want to have a funeral, you better damn do it the way you did Iron Man's.
And that death they chose
exactly
and was after how long of character development, how many arcs, how many story, like how many. Well, okay, the answer is all of them. I was gonna say how many phases of the MCU was Tony in? Oh yeah, he was in all of them. You know, so like if you went through all that and then you end it in a way, versus you have one movie about the character. He's in some cameos, and then immediately you just kill off the character because that's what you would do with the character if Chadwick hadn't died. Obviously, that's the obvious choice because everybody wants to see Namor fight Shuri.
Right.
And everyone's been crying out for it.
It's frustrating. But this part that Namor said, this is what really had me laughing. No, this shit is funny. Namor's dead inside, and I want to show you an example of how I know he's dead. Watch this shit.
This little insight of what does this mean? How will this maybe change the MCU moving forward?
Yeah, Namor, look, he's one of the most classic Marvel characters in publishing. He's somebody that we've wanted to introduce for a long time, and you want to introduce this person in the right way. And I think in building the first Panther movie, we realized if we got to make a sequel, there was some natural conflict, even in publishing, between the Black Panther and Namor. The great thing about Ryan is he wants to ground everything in reality and everything in a truth. So in rethinking how Namor could be introduced, we really wanted to lean into Mayan culture and be inspired by that civilization that's still very much around and alive.
And alive. Oh my gosh.
This man is dead.
There's no way that
man is dead. Okay.
There's a pause. There's a pause.
I did not catch that shit.
This man is dead. Okay, now let's rewind to what he said here about Namor real quick. This man is dead inside. Okay. Okay.
So the Mayans are more alive than Chadwick.
And alive.
This shit right
like
here.
A little SpongeBob quip. And alive.
And alive. Yeah.
It was the pause.
The pause.
It was the pause and the turn because he
gave a slight.
He looked at like nigga broke the fourth wall.
No, he did.
He really did.
He paused, turned, and alive.
He said it like Chadwick is watching from heaven, bro.
Bro, when I'm telling you, I rewound that so many times last night, and I just kept saying, this man is fucking dead. He's done.
He's not.
Oh, fuck. That shit is so funny. Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Cornelius says, called remembering lines mid-sentence. No, dead ass.
No, he definitely
ass.
practiced.
This is all memorized.
Knew these questions.
No, they've been rehearsing this shit since the first trailer. So, okay, so this is what I wanted to break down. This part right here. He said, we realized this is a character we've been wanting to introduce for a long time, and we want to introduce him in the right way. Nothing wrong with that, but this part here. To make a sequel, there is some natural conflict, even in publishing, between the Black Panther and Namor. I'm so sick of that, and that's the part I'm sick of. You are not using the franchise's main character's name.
Even before that, he's saying from the first movie we saw that, and so it's like they're basing this. They're basing this whole rivalry with Namor based off the first movie, and it's like nothing with the plot.
T'Challa.
Exactly, nothing with the plot of the second movie lines up with anything. Like we don't know if any of the some of these characters could be completely different than how they were written in the first movie, just simply because we're not getting some of them back. We're not getting W'Kabi back. We're not getting T'Challa back. We're not getting. I'm sure there's a couple who aren't coming back, and so it's like you just don't know what they're even going to put on the screen. And so it's like for him to sit there live last night and say that they really base the story of Namor versus the Black Panther off the first movie, it's like I just don't see how he would say that.
Like I said, I'm just sick of them. I'm sick of them not using T'Challa's name.
Yeah,
I'm sick of them not using T'Challa's name.
Panther.
Between the Black Panther and Namor. No. Between T'Challa, the Black Panther, and Namor.
Right.
He has issues. Namor says T'Challa's name. What the fuck? He has issues with T'Challa.
Yeah.
He doesn't go in Wakanda saying where's the
natural conflicts he's talking about.
He has issues with the character, bro.
With the king T'Challa, with the decisions he makes as king, like not only as him as the Black Panther, like this decisions he makes as a whole person.
He has issues like that. That's a rivalry that like I'm not about to sit there and explain the deep-rooted into the rivalry between Namor and T'Challa. Like they are rivals. Namor hates him, and it's vice versa. So for you to sit up here on the red carpet and you're not using the main character's name, and but again, you've also said that this is something that you guys have been thinking about, which takes me back to again what Ryan Coogler said about having conversations with Chadwick, which lets me know again that this is something Chadwick himself wanted. Right. And again, but you're not honoring that.
Yeah.
The great thing about Ryan is he wants to ground everything in reality and everything in a truth. So in rethinking how Namor could be introduced, we really wanted to lean into Mayan culture and be inspired by that civilization that's still very much around and alive. And I think making Namor and Talokan this incredibly special place that gets to both play in this movie and also just be the tip of the iceberg of stories down the road is really exciting.
I mean, but if you listen to him, what is he really saying?
He's not saying
nothing.
Anything.
Like he's saying, it's a bunch of nothing.
He's not saying anything, and it's very.
Like it's just a whole bunch of
like I said on Twitter, it was an SNL
correct word.
It was an SNL skit last night. That's all he got up there and did. He put on a show. He did his job.
You mean because they read from cue cards?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's all that's what the turn was. He forgot his line. So that's what he got up there and did last night. I just thought the whole thing was funny. I thought it was very fake. And just, I can't stand anymore. I really can't. I'm gonna skip to Victoria. These two right here. It was right here. Yeah, Luis Despacito. Couldn't remember for a minute.
Get ready.
Namor is probably one of our oldest characters.
Yes.
I think he first appeared in 1939 as a Submariner. So to bring him finally to the screen is such a big deal.
So to bring him finally to the screen, because he's one of the oldest characters created in 1930 whatever, that's such a big deal to them because everybody's been wanting Namor to be on the screen. The same thing with T'Challa. But the difference in T'Challa is T'Challa was literally, as I've said so many times, I just feel like this is said every video, literally created for Black representation. Yeah. And it was historic, the first Black leading superhero to have his own comic, to be a king, to be everything that T'Challa is. So to sit here and say, they've been waiting so long and Namor is one of the oldest characters, so is T'Challa. Yeah. So is T'Challa, and I get it. They knew Chad,
had the impact it had,
right?
Like we've had other Black superheroes. They didn't have that same impact because they weren't the first, and they weren't created for that purpose.
Like I said, what they're saying, Victoria Alonso saying, "Oh, he's here." You knew him. That's great. I have no doubt that Chad, in spirit was there. I have no doubt. But you guys knew him personally.
Yeah.
I get. For you, maybe it's a tough thing to let that character separate the two, but they are two different. One's fiction, one's real. Like, what are we doing?
What I'm right. Yeah. Isn't Namor an Atlantean in the real comics and everything? Like,
it's called something
real,
else, but
like he doesn't represent anything real, I don't think, as to the character
what they're
of T'Challa,
talking about is the representation aspect. He's coming in as the you're taking.
But that's not the source material from 19 whatever. That's what y'all did, and y'all gave that representation to them. Like that's literally the same representation they gave to them that they took from us with T'Challa, in my opinion. That's literally all it is.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about representation, how important it is, but you are taking representation. Maybe they don't look at it that way.
It's always a lot of one at a time. I don't.
And
always one at a time.
There's everybody saying you still have so much representation. Everybody's saying you still have so much representation. You have this, you have that. Yes, but you don't have the Black male representation. As I said last week, I don't remember whose Twitter that was, but that poster that was up at the advertisement at Target. It was Suri, Okoye, and Nakia. None of the advertisement has had. Where the fuck has Winston Duke been?
No Baku toys, no.
And not only that, again, like I said, this is supposed to be honoring Chad. Where was Derek? Where's his family? I know Simone was there, his wife. I know she was there. But in the group picture that they did at the end, why wasn't she included? Because this is supposed to be honoring him, right?
Right.
Why are they not included in every aspect of the event that night?
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be honoring him, because it's not. It's not. That was the facade. That was the whole thing. And then you got everybody brainwashed that have seen the film talking about, oh, it was just this for Chad. It was, and I'm sure it was. I'm sure they put every effort for Chad in there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, going back to Soups, it just didn't sit right. And we all know why it didn't sit right.
Mm-hmm.
They drag themselves through so much pain for this too. Like to honor someone they love, like they dragged his death out so much. They're still doing it. Like until this movie's gonna come out on Disney Plus. They're still doing it. Like
No,
like this funeral is gonna be an everlasting. Like, do you see how close Marvel gets with like ESPN and all the like sporting companies whenever they do Black Panther? Like,
oh yeah, that's why I shared
like,
on my Instagram. The only male representation in that entire commercial was the NBA players.
Like,
it wasn't
real
nobody from the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like,
and then had the nerve to put Chad in there again. Marvel trying to profit off of Chad's death, trying to drum up emotion. Weeks before the film with this new NBA, because they know obviously season's back. People are watching the openings of the season. People are watching their teams. We show that prime time at night. You show Chad. We know this was one of our most popular films.
Hearts.
Yeah,
people know
that's what they want to do. That's what everybody's been saying. It's been emotional. You go through it's an emotional roller coaster. He said that. You got Ant-Man 1991. I don't particularly like. I don't like Grace, so I don't watch Grace. But Grace, I guess, said M'Baku, Winston Duke barely has screen time.
I believe it.
I believe it too.
I said it sitting here. I said I hope he, and that's what I said. I said I hope he. I said I hope he barely. I'm stuttering. I said I hope he doesn't get cut out the movie, because from the trailers we're seeing, he barely has any screen time in them.
Right.
And it's like the screen time they did give him, like. Deadass, the only thing I've seen of M'Baku is we've gotten a couple lines of dialogue, and then where he jumped at Namor and looked like a bitch. He jumped at Namor and looked like a bitch. He's like, that's not good. Like, that can't be good.
Pookie Wood said, actually seeing a lot of T'Challa toys in the stores. Of course. But here's the thing with those. Go to Walmart. Tell me if you see one of the Marvel Legends comic accurate.
Are they
T'Challa
or are they Chadwick Boseman?
No, they're the Chadwick Boseman. They're the Black Panther from the first film, the Marvel Legends toys from the first film, and it's got Chadwick's interchangeable head
or
with
the
Michael
Michael B. Jordan Killmonger.
Yes, it's those ones. Tell me if you see the comic accurate T'Challa's there, because I and now this could just be bumfuck Oklahoma, but we have to go to comic book stores or vintage stock or something like that to find the comic accurate figures. Walmart's not putting that out, and unless you're one of the people that know about vintage stock, comic book stores and stuff like that, you're not.
That's right. You're going Walmart, GameStop, Target, Best Buy, and those are getting all the ones that are getting the ones they want you to buy.
Yeah, that again. Why do you think they re-put out the first Black Panther Marvel Legends figures with Chad's head in them? To drum up emotion, to once again profit off of Chad's death. To get people to go to a morbid funeral that his friend wrote in so that we can all grieve again, but this time pay for it. And yes, I understand. Oh, but you're going to, yes, I'm paying for the movie. I'm going to see the movie because I still want to go again, as I've always said, in order to give you authentically my opinion, I have to see it for myself.
Yeah.
I can't go based off of what Bob, Tim, and Jimmy said.
Authentically speaking, if you wear white to that movie, that's crazy. That's so bizarre to me. It's nutty to me. If you, I'm like, this is just my opinion. I was like, if you attend that fictional funeral and feel like you're really a part of it, like, please better yourself. Like, do not do that. Like, that is just my opinion. Please, like, I'm just like, please don't. I just don't see why you would do that.
He like died before Dark Knight came out. You didn't hear people being like, "Hey, dress up like a funeral." No. And he actually
you don't hear that with anyone.
Because Marvel, because that's WB in Christopher Nolan. They didn't promote a funeral.
Yeah, exactly.
Marvel's promoting a funeral.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so bizarre.
They
are pushing it. We see something from the funeral in every trailer.
Yeah.
Something from the funeral is in there. And, I'm just like, bro, the funeral shit is just wildly insane to me.
It's bizarre.
And you know, obviously now that the people have seen the film, we know the things that are, you know, on par or not on par with the leaks or whatever. And you know, there is no, for everybody tweeting and saying, hey, they're gonna eventually what? So when you're saying that they're gonna eventually recast him, calm down. What are you basing that off of? Did you get hope from that? Because from what I've heard in the film, there's no hope that leads toward a recast of T'Challa.
When is eventually?
Yeah, what is eventually?
It took The Rock 15 years to come out with Black Adam. I don't want to wait 15 years for them to re-announce, oh, we're gonna recast T'Challa, and then another 2-3 for them to actually do it, and then another 2-3 for them to work on the movie. Like, I just don't want to wait that long because it's really, at the end of the day, feelings aside, business decision, it's a simple decision. I mean, the character made you the most money you've ever touched.
No.
But, and the character you didn't tell, you didn't even tell a % of that character's story.
No.
They didn't. Like, in all honesty. So it's like, I don't see how you made that decision, even with feelings, if you're at the top of a business, to be like, yes, we all know Chad. I personally feel like I knew Chadwick Boseman. I cried when he died. It's like you get attached to these people and everything, so I understand that they're much, much closer to him, and they have much better relationships with him and everything. But at the end of the day, do you not run a business?
Disney just does whatever they think makes them look the best, though, at any given time. And at the time of his passing, really super quick, they made that decision, and that's the temperature they felt in the room. But it didn't stay that way, and they could have corrected course. You know,
I mean, but it's like
what they did with Thunderbolt Ross, but instead they don't, and instead they're like, oh, hey, this first movie that did really well, it leads really well into a sequel with Namor, and they're like, let's continue with that, and they don't even recognize that, like, nobody wants to see a sister fight Namor. Like, we all want to see T'Challa fight Namor.
Of her. On the and it was badass. Like, I will always give credit for credit's due. Badass.
Yeah,
it was her on the ship. She was like fighting what are they, Talakanians, whatever the fuck they are. I don't know. She was fighting them. She had the suit on, the movement, all the like the swift movement she was doing. It was dope.
Yeah,
bro.
because she has the things
but you
on
know,
her hands.
yeah, it was dope. Yeah, but you know what would have been so much doper if T'Challa was there with her,
right,
bro?
Yeah,
I kept rewatching it, and I kept trying to imagine spots that I could imagine T'Challa like
imagine he like double, like imagine just double teaming the fuck out of it.
Double teaming, bro. Like they both go down on that. Like the way she came down on the ship, I could see them both coming down.
Imagine T'Challa's face if Shuri shows up in a Black Panther suit and she's like, "Look what I made." And they just start fighting together.
Dude,
like
it could be like when it was Winter Soldier and Cap against Tony. You remember when they're having that fight scene where
against
like
Namor.
Like that,
do you
but
know
it's
how dope it would be to see that? And then you could even power Namor up even more. You know, just to show that it's taking both of them to take
like the nigga a mutant.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
How much of a time jump are we getting in this movie? That she's even going to be able. So you're telling me like she's done a year of training and she's going to be able to go in hand-to-hand combat?
I don't even know if she really.
Combat.
I don't
go up against him.
I don't know, man.
However much time.
I don't know, man.
I'm sure she trains with.
What's she going to do? Give him a virus? Slow down his Wi-Fi? Like I don't. From what I've seen of her in the MCU, I don't know how she fights the dude.
I would just really like.
And because it's crazy, because it's like people we've seen her fight. Like, she would have got killed by Killmonger. That nigga wanted to kill her.
Yeah.
Like, and she wasn't doing it. Like, she definitely shot her. She shot her little cannons at him and everything. They just didn't work. Like, that nigga wanted to kill her. And so it's like, for people to saying, oh, she's in Wakanda, she can, like, of course, we know anyone can train. It's a fictional character. Anyone can train, anyone can do this. But based off what we've seen, hand-to-hand combat, not her, not
who's trained from birth.
That's what I'm not.
Like,
her,
look
just
at this, bro. Imagine if you had T'Challa doing this with her.
Right.
Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, so robbed. So, because this is dope. I'm not gonna sit here and say this shit ain't dope. That's dope.
No, have you seen the trailer where they have the little scene of the Dora Milaje?
I've tried not to watch anything.
Or it's just the first trailer, like the initial trailer we reacted to, where they're all the Dora Milaje about to fight the Talacoans. They're all on the ship and they're climbing up the ship and everything. Like that scene looks like it's gonna be dope. Like I bet you this ship scene is gonna be one of the best scenes in the movie, though.
Like, bro,
because the action scenes they can get from this and just seeing the camera work on the sides and the angles on the boat and everything.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a beautiful. That's gonna be a beautiful scene.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be cool. Like we've been saying this whole time, the movie's probably gonna be good. It's probably gonna be beautiful.
And that's what
we're gonna leave saying, but T'Challa.
That's what I hate. People also thinking like,
right?
Oh, y'all are recast T'Challa. Well, why are y'all saying? Didn't y'all just say the movie wasn't going to be good because there's no T'Challa? It's like no, like
no. We're
from the get go. I'm pretty sure everyone at this table announced it, or like didn't announce, but we all stated that Ryan Coogler can put out amazing work. Like we know what he does in movies, and I'm sure with this being such a thing close to his heart, he's not going to put out a bad project in this. But it's like just knowing what was took from us, kind of just like it takes away some potential. Like we know what this could have potentially been, and it's not. Like look at Darius right now, still looking at that, trying to picture T'Challa next to her or something.
It's sad.
Like,
it's sad. I could just like, bro, it's just a dope scene, but it's just like, damn, man, you don't have T'Challa, and I could just like, I could see him like coming down right there through the doors, like kicking ass with his sister. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. That's
you gotta have real life. You gotta look out your window.
That's wild.
See,
I can't. I guess it's getting more and more.
I dropped the damn.
It's getting closer, so it's getting more and more real. Especially as I'm seeing more and more scenes and shit. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be sitting there the whole time, and I'm like, oh, T'Challa could have been right there. Oh, T'Challa could have been. Oh, T'Challa could have helped you right there, bro. This is.
Well, like I said on one of the videos, like if they do something with her that is actually done by him in the comics, like that shit's gonna be super annoying.
Yeah,
that
like if they replace something he's done just with
that should definitely be.
But
man, that's tough.
Got our tickets.
That's tough. So,
tickets in the car right now.
The premiere was funny. Like I said, made me laugh. I had questions and shits and giggles. This right here, as I said, that's depressing. It's cool, but depressing at the same time.
It is because it's also I'm not even thinking it from the aspect of they're making her just go fight without her. Like think of how much she's really having to deal with from a character standpoint. Like, hey, your brother just died. Get out there and first go build your own suit, then learn how to fight in it, then go fight almost everyone in it. Yeah. Like it's just such an unrealistic plot point to throw a character into.
I'll show this too. This was something. This was from Civil War again. This just how T'Challa was in Civil War. I get it. Yes, Chadwick was playing him, but again, the point I made to somebody on one of our comments, you don't know what the next actor in the role could do. Just like at one point we all said nobody can touch Heath Ledger, and I still say that. Yeah. But there's still that. But Joaquin Phoenix is. Well, he's right there. We can't have those conversations about T'Challa. So I love this though. Even though, I love this scene in Civil War between Natasha and T'Challa. This is when they had brought him in. This shit was dope. Like,
I guess when you said you do it yourself, you meant you'd do it yourself.
You are not used to the truth, are you?
I got a look at your suit, vibranium weave. I'm very impressed. You realize that this puts you under the Accord's jurisdiction.
How long do your psychological evaluations usually take?
Why, are you bored?
Not currently. But my prisoner and I have a plane to catch.
I realize you're not one for politics. I think there's a chance you may be being a bit naive.
Congratulations, Your Highness. He got extradition. Yes, Ms. Romanoff. I'm sure I have much to learn.
He's ahead of
T'Challa's just smooth, bro. He's just smooth. Like, come on, man. That just how do you look at that and then say, nah,
it's a real nigga.
Take that off the screen. That's just
it's the only real nigga I've seen in the Marvel universe, bro.
It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy.
It is.
Like I said, here we are. Here we are.
It's just, I think it's so crazy to me that they just every day closer to this movie. They really didn't backtrack and be like, man, maybe we should. Maybe we should. We got COVID. We got this whole extra year.
They did, and
like.
There's a lot they could have done, but they just chose not to. So, but that's where we are with it. So, we got 2 weeks until the film. We don't know if Nate Moore or anybody else is going to say any more outlandish, crazy shit before. I wouldn't put it past anybody, though. Somebody could come out and say something crazy before the film, and, we'll dissect that as well. But as of now, we are where we are. As it gets closer and closer and more scenes come out and you start to see some of the imagery. Like I said, if you watched E-Man's reaction after, his face going in was not his face coming out. I know he had hopes and things that he thought were going to happen, and with of course with it being in the blip, or supposed to, the theory of it being within the blip and everything like that, and then maybe a post credit that leads toward hope of a recast or anything like that. So that there's nothing like that. From my understanding, there's nothing like that. The Doctor Doom stuff has been removed because they wanted, and this is crazy. This is why I say again, this shit is morbid. They took the Doctor Doom shit out. Why? Because they wanted audiences not to remember the Doctor Doom stuff because they felt like audiences only would have been talking Doctor Doom after the film. They want you to remember the hurt. They want you to remember the mourn. They want you to remember, you just paid to get kicked in the dick to remember this shit all week, the next week, the week after that, and if you come back and pay more, if you're morbid enough to do that, you're going to see that shit again.
That's what we're going to keep releasing TV trailers and spots and releasing more of the movie until it comes out on Disney Plus.
And that you make you all do it again for free. So that's where we are with it. That's where the fuck we are with it.
It's just crazy how we all know the whole system now. Like, we've just been doing this for so long now. It's like, we know what it is, and unfortunately we can't change nothing about it.
Again, I just need that hope. I need something. Can you give us something? The DCEU gave us that hope with the show, with Henry Cavill showing up in Black Adam. That was hope for the future of the DCEU. That's what everyone has been wanting. Like, look at DC, bro. Henry Cavill has been out of the suit before stepping into Black Adam for almost a decade. He's been out of that suit for a long time. So, is it going to be a decade before we get T'Challa?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It took Henry Cavill 10 years back in the suit. Black Adam took 15 years to make. It's like we know Marvel had, and that's another thing I was bringing up. We know Marvel has more important things they're needing to get to.
Let me say this. I'm telling you, Dan the man, Doom is out of it.
Yeah,
they're coming from several credible sources.
They replaced him with
this was before people saw the film,
though, right? Like, they just
it's going to be Lucia von Bardis
mentioning his name.
She's going to be the one that you see. It's not going to be Doom again, because they don't want Doom to be the main focus. They don't want Doom to be the one talked about, because Doom, being the villain, being the presence, being the character he is in the comics, takes away from your funeral. Point blank. Period. It does.
Yep. And
that's why they're not doing it. And this is not news that just came out after the premiere. This is news that came out before the premiere from several credible sources that said Doom is gone.
Yep.
So there's no Doom. I don't care if they only showed the mid-credit scene, even in the one after the post. There's no Doom.
Yeah.
And I guess in the mid-credit scene, it was something with the son, the bastard. It's not gonna have his dad. It's crazy, but no, it's not really crazy. It's tropes. It's what they want to do. They want to continue that stuff. They want us to harp and the stereotypes and all of that. It's like Chadwick Boseman said. They don't want it. Disney doesn't want to see a black king on the throne. They don't want to, and that's coming from his brother's mouth. Don't shoot me. That's coming out of his brother's mouth. You don't think that they've had these conversations, bro? You don't think even in 2022, when stuff like that happens for our race, it's still that conversation like, damn, we really got this. Or damn, I'm sure they had that conversation, him, Chad, and his, the family, like, damn, you're really T'Challa. You're really the king. You are really a black man in this position in Hollywood, in one of the most successful movie studio in the world.
And at the time, he was the most popular character in the world.
Crazy. So yeah, that's it.
We want the focus to be.
But what is we saying? This ain't about Phantom and getting my way. It's all for the love, it's not for the hate. No matter what people are trying to say, we cast T'Challa. We cast T'Challa.